Jordan Love just signed a massive contract extension, and that got me thinking, could the Packers win the NFC North? The short answer is yes. But let's dive right in. I know some of you are thinking, Joe, you're crazy. The Lions just made the NFC Championship game. Please let us out of the basement, I'm begging you. For one, no, I will not. That is your new home. Two, yes, the Lions are a great team. Awesome team. But the youth and potential in this Packers squad makes me think they can make the leap this year, and it all starts with quarterback Jordan Love. Love is entering his 5th season in the NFL, where he would play amazingly for the second half of last season. In 2023, they started 2-5, but would finish 9-8, beat the Cowboys in the wildcard round in the playoffs, obviously, before narrowly losing to the 49ers in the divisional round. During those first 8 weeks, Love was the 24th ranked quarterback, still trying to find his own in his first year starting after sitting behind Aaron Rodgers for 3. But from weeks 9 and on, he was second only behind Brock Purdy, throwing the second most touchdowns, 21, the least interceptions for qualified quarterbacks with 3, and second in yards with 2,666. What changed? Well, for one, he got comfortable. It's not easy just being put out there after not having a chance to play for years. Yes, you learned from Aaron Rodgers, and he was in a great offense coached by Matt LaFleur, but he still needed time to develop chemistry with the guys. Jordan had 11 games with a passer rating over 90, 10 over 100. Compared to Rodgers, that 11-game stretch would be better than all but 5 of Aaron's best 11-game stretches. Yes, ESPN cherry-picked stat, but it's to prove one thing. Love wasn't good for just half a season. He was Aaron Rodgers for 2/3 of one. With another offseason under his belt, playoff experience, a new contract, some new offensive weapons, and developing offensive weapons, expect Love to be even better than the second half of the 2023 season, and honestly, he could be an MVP candidate for this Packers team. Have you heard of Underdog Fantasy? Underdog is the best and easiest way to play fantasy sports. All you have to do is pick higher or lower on your favorite players' projections, and you can win up to 80 times your money in a single night. If you want to become a dog, go ahead and download the app, or go to UnderdogFantasy.com and use code FANATICS when you sign up. They'll match your first deposit up to $250 and give you daily special picks for your pick'em entries. Personally, I've been doing a lot of the drafts for the MLB the past few days, and it's gone very well for me, let me tell you. You draft your favorite athletes and compete against real people, and whoever's team scores the most fantasy points takes home the cash. Again, that is code FANATICS for a first-time deposit match up to $250. While Aaron Jones left, and it is sad because he was a great Packer, they brought in Josh Jacobs. Jacobs is coming off a down year. In 13 games, he rushed for 805 yards on 3.5 yards per carry and 6 touchdowns. His worst season to date. But there's still faith to be had in Josh as their RB1. He is an elite, talented level back. He was just dealt a bad hand and was injured in Las Vegas last year, as the Raiders were 27th in rush attempts in 2023. While the Packers were 22nd, the team ranked 10th in running PFF grade, while the Raiders were 27th. So there is an opportunity for Jacobs to become more efficient in Green Bay than he was with Vegas this past season. We've already seen it from him before. The RB room is pretty good. Behind Jacobs is rookie Marshawn Lloyd and veteran A.J. Dillon, who has been a serviceable backup his whole career and steps up sometimes when needed. This rushing game, if Jacobs goes back to form and stays healthy, could be one of the best in the league. I like Lloyd a lot. He's a pretty decent rookie back, and A.J. Dillon can do his job. So those three together could really create a good security blanket for Love to just hand the ball off or give checkdowns to one of those guys who can do something in the open field to try and make this offense more explosive. But to aid Jordan Love in the Packers' breakout year, the receiving room is young, but has a ton of potential. My favorite of the bunch is Jayden Reed. Reed is an explosive, dynamic receiver who can help a quarterback out because he always gets open. He ranked 15th in target separation and 12th in win rate versus man coverage. He's a guy who Love can rely on because he just does so much. He was also used in the run game a good bit, adding another 119 yards and 2 touchdowns to his team-leading 793 yards and 8 touchdowns receiving. Now, I want him in fantasy 1,000% of the time. In his sophomore season, he could easily get 1,000 yards if he continues to improve the way he did during his rookie season. And the same goes for Romeo Doubs, entering his 3rd year, who was just a contested catch machine. He ranked 3rd in contested catches and 5th in contested catch percentage. Doubs is a red zone threat at 6'2". He was 2nd in the league in red zone touchdowns with 7, and led the team in red zone target percentage at 20. Jordan Love cannot get enough of Romeo in the red zone, and he helps this team tremendously due to his skills down there. Literally just throw it up to him and score. That's why he had him in that, make up your own play, even though it was a Madden play, to go to the red zone. Those two guys can easily have 1,000 yards and 8 touchdowns each with their different play styles. Dobbs spends 84% of his time out wide, while Reed is in the slot 76% of his snaps. They complement each other perfectly, and Jordan will thrive with these two. The other pass catchers are injury-prone Christian Watson, who when healthy can make explosive plays downfield, second-year guy Dontavian Wicks, and the two young tight ends Tucker Kraft and Luke Musgrave. There's so much potential with those guys, as Wicks could be a decent receiver, Watson if he's healthy can, and the two tight ends, you really don't know which one will be better. I like Musgrave more, but they could be reliable as well. But everyone is on a rookie deal in this offense except AJ Dillon and Josh Jacobs. There's a lot of room for this offense to grow even more because of how young they are. Now, the defense does leave room to be desired. However, they did add talented pieces this offseason. First, we have safety Xavier McKinney in free agency and safety Javon Bullard in the second round of the draft. The secondary did not force turnovers last season, finished second to last with 7 interceptions. Xavier was the 4th-ranked safety on PFF last year, so he's a clear upgrade at the position heading into 2024. Now, he's not the 4th best safety in the league, but he did play really well on a bad New York Giants team, and he will be able to make tackles in the open field and cover downfield as well. He was 2nd best in missed tackle percentage and 15th in stops, who also allowed 0 touchdowns in coverage. That is someone that they need behind Jair Alexander, because he's genuinely one of the most underrated players in the NFL, and I cannot wait to see what he does alongside Jair. They added a lot of depth in the draft outside of Bullard, who's one of 2 projected rookie starters, alongside another second-round pick with linebacker Edgerrin Cooper. Outside of Quay Walker, the linebackers were not a great group last season, with Devondre Campbell, former All-Pro, leaving free agency, makes the room seem weak. But Isaiah McDuffie not being terrible and adding a couple of rookies, the group could come out okay if the rookies are what they are expected to be. They aren't the only young players that can play a huge part in this team's defensive success. In 2024, as Lucas Van Ness, Devontae Wyatt, and Rashawn Gary could play a huge role in the front 4. Gary's the oldest of the bunch at 26 and off his rookie deal, but that's still pretty young for a guy entering his 6th season. He led the team in sacks with 9 last year and was 20th in the league in pressures. There is some young promise outside of stars Quay Walker and Jair Alexander on the defensive side of the ball. Watch out for Van Ness and Devontae Wyatt having really good years. Wyatt already showed some promising pass rush potential from the inside, sacking the quarterback 5.5 times as a defensive tackle on just 50% of snaps. While Lucas wasn't as great, but he had 4 on 33%. Give those guys some more playing time and they could be outrageous next season. Van Ness is someone that I would like to see play more, because I think that alongside Preston Smith and Rashawn Gary and crew, he could potentially be a premier pass rusher on this team. Now, that doesn't mean a 15-sack guy, but I could see him getting to the double digits this year. He really has that sort of potential, as well as Gary continuing to play well and Wyatt being really good on the inside. Some of you are wondering, like I said at the beginning, what about the Lions, the Bears, and letting me out of your basement? The Lions are an elite team, but I think the Packers make that jump to that type of conversation with the elite teams in the NFC. I said in the Rams video that they are young, but that does not mean that they are not ready to compete in the NFC North, and the NFC in general. I have the Lions going 11-6, splitting the season series with the Bears and Packers, while Green Bay goes 12-5. The two teams have hard schedules, with Green Bay having the harder schedule of the two. The biggest hard games for Green Bay are the Eagles, both games with the Lions, Texans, and 49ers. Between those games, they'll go 2-3. But besides those, their schedule is not that bad. Regarding the Bears, I think that you really cannot tell with a rookie quarterback, so I have them just missing the playoffs. Look, I know this is kind of a hot take, but the Packers just give me that Oklahoma City Thunder vibe. Young team led by 1 star. Since this is the NFL, where 11 guys play on each side and not 5 total, let's say 1 on defense and 1 on offense, with Jordan Love and Jair Alexander, and a bunch of young players with potential that can break out at any moment and have a big impact for this team. This all relies on those guys like Jaden Reed, Devontae Wyatt, Van Ness, Dobbs, and more playing to their potential. They have already won a playoff game against a proven regular season team in the Dallas Cowboys. Doesn't mean much, but they almost won in San Francisco as well. With Matt LaFleur, a proven head coach at the helm, and Joe Barry getting the hell out of Wisconsin, I think that this team can put together now, despite how young the group really is. And guys, it's August. Projecting for these teams is what we do here at Fanatic Sports. You got to look at all the details and really say, why not the Green Bay Packers? And with all that being said, that is it for me, guys. Thank you for tuning into Fanatic Sports. If you made this far in the video, come on. Just give it a like, subscribe to the channel. You already know the deal. It helps me out a lot. Follow me on Instagram at FanaticSports25 and on TikTok and Twitter at Fanatic Sports. This is Joe of Fanatic Sports, signing off.